Hey there. Time for lesson two. So we learned all about the best times to eat and the best times to rest. And now I'm going to show you how you can start to anticipate future agitated states before they happen. So within our internal rhythm, these unconscious rhythms are constantly going up and then they're coming back down. And when they go up, they activate or agitate. And when they come down, they rest and they calm. Okay. It's not too hard to understand what's happening. And everyone knows this. Like we all feel it. Some days don't feel the same. And we're going to get more into understanding the circadian rhythm. But for this first video on how to anticipate, days that are going to be challenging from an emotional or from an edgy or just you're not feeling yourself kind of thing, we're going to really focus on down here again on the feelometer graph because it's all about how we feel, isn't it? How we feel can really set the tone. And I wish I could tell you that I'm going to take all your bad feelings away. I can't do that. But what I can do is I can prepare you for them. And then if we're eating and resting and our body's doing better, when these agitating moments come and they make us a little short emotionally, we're going to be a lot better at holding our stuff together and not letting our emotions and our internal feelings get the best of us. So we've already done the other video, and if you've watched that one, you know how to hit this button, which is just get to the current date and time. And that's what we're going to do here is I'm going to bring the tool up to where we are in my rhythms right now. The other thing that we're going to have to do here is we're going to change the time field out. So the time field right now is aligned with the highs and the lows of the physical rhythm, the blue rhythm. And for the emotional one, we're going to want to change it. And you see this little thing down here that says E times and there's no check mark there? We're going to put a check mark there. And when that check mark comes in, it changes the time field here. See how they're all different now? And they're a little bit wider apart. There's not as many. And I'm going to show you how these line up in just a second. But when you're done with this and you want to know how to find your downtime for when it's going to be rest and eating, then you just click this again and you take it away. And now it's aligning with the blue rhythms again. So for example, here's that 9:57 p.m. This is my low. So if I was going to have my meal, I'm going to rest, I'd want to do this well before 10. I'd want an hour in front of this and an hour after it. There's our review. Okay, so let's come back here now and we're going to switch back over to E times. And the rhythm that we're going to look at with E times is the small e. This is the micro emotional. And the micro emotional, it kind of looks like a city skyscraper. You see how it comes up and then it comes down? You see that one right there? Same thing here. See how this comes up and it comes down? Now, where it comes up, guess what? That aligns with this time. So at 10:42 a.m., I'm going to have some emotional agitation. My internal emotional rhythms are going to speed up and they're going to create an agitated state. And this is when I could be a little short. And you see how this overlaps. It's like overlapping with when I would be hungry. So if I missed eating and I was feeling hungry, and then all of a sudden this comes up, now I'm hangry. Kind of fun, right? So you can see that on this day, on Thursday, January 15th, 2026, I've got a couple of skyscrapers here. I got a couple of buildings that I'm going to have to navigate through. And when they come up, you can see they stay up for a while. So as I'm doing this video, there is an emotional agitation that's happening in my internal rhythms. Now, I'm well aware of this, and I've been well aware of this for some time, and I don't get agitated too easily. Now, do I feel the effects of what this is? Yes. But the problem is if you let this control you, what it does is it activates your fight or flight defensive system of control. And when I look back in my life, I can't think of one thing that ever happened that was good when I ran away from a responsibility. That's the flight part. Or when I stood up and fought for my own personal perspective, that just makes more stress. So if you can navigate these internal rhythmic agitations, you can literally stop your body from tricking you into the negative feedback loop that creates your stress. So that's how easy this is. And then now that you see how this works, literally, if this little purple line goes up above this white line, that's the 50% mark. So you see down here, it's green and then it transitions into yellow and then it goes into like this orange color and then it's more of this rose like red color. There's 4 different zones on here. If your emotional rhythm is down in the yellow or the green, it's going to be easy to keep your things together. It's not going to be so hard to stay calm and collective. When this little emotional micro gets up into the orange or the red and somebody says the wrong thing or you got short patience, this is when you're going to blow your top. So for example, today, Thursday, from 5 p.m. until about 8:15 p.m., I really want to watch myself. I want to make sure that I don't let my internal rhythms dupe me into doing something I don't want to do. Now, after 8:15 p.m., you see how it kind of lays out here and I don't have to worry. So this is where this fast forward button really comes in handy again. So we're going to fast forward again and we're going to get to Friday morning so we can see all of Friday into Saturday and look it. You see how my emotions are staying pretty level here? They're not up too high. There's a little bit of a bump up here and then another little bump up here, but pretty easy stuff. Let's keep going here so you get an idea what this looks like. So again, not so bad here. And things are starting to come down again. Let's keep moving. So what you can do is you can use this fast forward button, move 12 hours at a time, and you can start to go forward into the future to know which days are going to be a little bit more difficult. So when we get to Sunday, January 18th, 2026, this cycle is going to start at 6:55 a.m. I've got 2, 3 speed bumps that I'm going to want to pay attention to. Sunday's going to be a day that I want to know about. So not only am I going to be making sure that I'm eating at the right time, but I'm also going to be anticipating when I'm going to have internal agitation, and I'm not going to let that get the best of me. And if you can eliminate stress, if you don't have stress, what happens is you don't have to reset. You see, when you get deep sleep at night, and that's what we're actually going to try to help you improve here is improving deep sleep. Well, to improve deep sleep, it's a lot easier to rest when you don't have extra stress. So as you eliminate your stress, it's going to become easier and easier to sleep at night. I call it the pillow test. If you've done your best all day long and you can't do any more than your best, you're going to get to rest. But if you slip up and you let your body dictate your reaction and you make it worse than it has to be, it's pretty hard to sleep at night because your mind won't settle down because what happens is when you go into these sympathetic states, a bunch of chemicals are dumped into your brain and they can't get cleaned up until you get to deep sleep. So once you start to get all of these stress chemicals going and you don't get good sleep, that is the very definition of a negative feedback loop. And it primes the system to make it tougher and tougher and tougher. And as individuals start to go through this, they're going to notice that certain days are a lot easier to stay calm and certain days are going to be a lot more difficult. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just fast forwarding until I get to my next one. So January 20th, that's going to be another time where it's going to be challenging. And you can see this is in the evening time. So until 12:11 a.m., I'm going to have this can also disrupt sleep. So if you have nights where you toss and you turn and your head's going too much, it's because you got stress that you haven't unwound yet, that you haven't reset. And you can't just reset stress by forgetting about it. This is the part where you're going to have to start to be better in communication and relationship. That's how you eliminate stress. You can't run away from your stress. You have to address it. You can't make it worse by fighting through it. And when people all see how this works, it's going to bring us to the table in a way where we try to cooperatively work out our differences because to not is literally taking our body's ability away from being able to be healthy and to heal. So, when you're doing this on a day-to-day basis, you're going to come over here and you're going to switch this over and you can check and say, okay, now I know when I need to eat. And then once you have your eat times and your rest times down, you're going to put this on and then you're going to set some alarms on your phone and you're going to say, okay, have an alarm come up that tells me from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. my internal rhythms are running hot. This is what I do for my family. For my family that doesn't know or hasn't been using this technology yet, I literally send them alerts that come by text message that I pre-program, and I say, "Hey, from 5 until 8, you're gonna wanna stay calm." Very, very important you remind yourself of this because when we get into our day, we can forget that this is coming and these rhythms, they're powerful. You'll see what I'm saying. Okay, that's lesson 2, and now you can see how lesson 1 and lesson 2, they're really interconnected. Now that's gonna get you started. But there's a lot more variation that we have to learn here, and that's what the healthreconnected.com platform is all about. So you've got enough here to get started To start to understand how to navigate the technology, we want you to go to our YouTube channel and you're going to sign up and become a member of that because we're going to have informational videos that are going to continue to just step by step help you understand how to use everything that's on this screen and then eventually bring you into these other pages as well. And then after you're done with that, make sure you get to Health Reconnected, and I want you to take the website tour. The website tour is super important. It shows you where all of the information is. It shows you where you're going to have access to some resources that's going to put this into like layman's terms. Instead of looking at this technology, it kind of describes the process and gives the overall layout of what this is. So you know what you're getting into, but what you're getting into is better. We're here to bring better and this is how we're going to do it. Can't wait to see you at the next one. Talk to you then.